Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. In the name of Allah, the Beneficent, the Most Merciful. I'd like to welcome you, dear viewers, to another in the series, In the Light of Islam. Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. May Allah's peace and blessings be on each and every one of you. With that, dear viewers, I'd like to begin our questions for this segment of the program with that contained in a letter from Sister Khadija in Dubai. She writes, Dear Brother Bilal Phillips, Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. I'm a bona fide viewer of your program since the last 2 years. I really appreciate them, for they helped me a lot in increasing my knowledge about Islam. Jazakallah khairan. Jazana wa iyakum. Although I have a lot of questions to ask, presently I'm only asking a few of them. Can a woman wipe on her scarf and sleeves if difficult to fold back like she does on her socks during wudu? The wiping on the scarf and the socks in the process of making ablution, this is something recorded in the Sunnah of Prophet Muhammad, may God's peace and blessing be upon him. He wiped on the socks, and he also wiped on the turban, and he wiped also on a khimar, or a scarf-like garment over the turban. So from that, it's accepted that a woman may wipe on her scarf or her socks. Now, wiping on the sleeves, where the woman's coat or shirt or dress may be tight at the wrist. So when she tries to move it up, it's not possible to move it up. She has to take off her whole dress or her whole top, whatever, to be able to wash her hands. For a woman now to decide to wipe on that with a wet hand instead of washing her hand, this is not acceptable. To do that is to leave one's ablution incomplete. One is not completing one's ablution, and as such, any prayer made with that kind of ablution is not acceptable to Allah. Ablution with regards to the hands means washing those hands. The only exception is a case where a woman or a man is got a major cut or a bandage or a splint or something, the hand is in a cast. Okay, now the hand can't be washed, so you wipe your your wet hand over it. But regarding the scarf and the socks, there is a slight difference between the two, in that with regards to the socks, it is well established that the Prophet Muhammad had said that one should put on the socks in a state of wudu, before wiping on them. Okay, as evidence in particular statements, the Prophet when he was asked about wiping the socks, and he said that I put them on in a state of wudu. But in the case of the turban, there is no record that he had previous wudu before putting on the turban. So for a woman wiping the scarf, there is no evidence to say that she must have had wudu before wiping on her scarf. Because of that, a number of scholars hold that as long as she's wearing the scarf covering her head, then she may wipe on the scarf instead of wiping her hair, without whether she had wudu previously or she didn't. The second question from Khadija is, to what extent is the intermingling of sexes allowed in Islam? Where it is something of a social gathering, where people are unrelated, not family members, close family members, etc., and it's just a free, contact of males and females, this is not approved of in Islam. If there's a social gathering, the men should be together, women should be together. This is a general ruling according to Islam. Where need arises in the medical field, for example, etc., educational field, where there's a need for males to teach females, or possibly females to teach males, or for women to touch a man or to be in the presence of a man because of medical need, operations, etc., then, under those circumstances, it is considered permissible. Otherwise, as I said, the methodology established from the prayer of the Prophet ﷺ was that the men would pray in the front, women would pray in the back. For educational purposes, where women, the best ideal would be to have a women's college and a men's college. Some countries where people cannot afford that, the men and women are together, then put the men in the front, women in the back. This would be the best way to deal with it. Otherwise, one should avoid mixed gatherings, which is just purely social type gatherings, because what it does is it opens up the door for Satan, for feelings to develop amongst people towards each other, where they're married and these type of things, which is not really something which Islam would promote. The next question is plastic surgery for the face or figure improvement or use of artificial teeth or contact lenses to beautify the face allowed in Islam? Well, we talked in previous sessions about plastic surgery, which is not for correcting disfigurement due to birth defects or accidents, etc. Or I guess the same would be included in figure improvement. This is all plastic surgery type things where people remove certain parts of their body or add to certain parts of their body to make their body this way or that way. This we said is not permissible where there is not a clear medical need. The use of artificial teeth. Now, using artificial teeth, a person loses their teeth and they put artificial teeth in their mouth. Usually people are not wearing these artificial teeth simply because they want to look better and because without these teeth they don't look so good. They're wearing the teeth because it's necessary for chewing purposes, to be able to chew the food, etc. One needs teeth in the mouth. That's why God gave us his teeth in the first place. So for a person to use false teeth in this way is perfectly legitimate. But now false teeth which are used as a means of beautification. I know in some societies, people show off their gold by buying gold caps and they put it over their teeth, so they walk around with, 24-karat smiles. Well, for this type of purpose, this is not really permissible in Islam. In terms of contact lenses, if somebody wanted to, because they want to change their eye color, they want their eyes to look a different color, and they wore contact lenses, this is nothing. No harm in doing this. Not something Islam would recommend and promote as something to do. But if one happened to prefer to do that, then it's perfectly legitimate. Nothing in Islam to forgive that or to forbid that. Our next question is from Shahnaz in Ajman. She writes, a verse in the Holy Quran says, good women are for good men, and good men are for good women. Vice women for vice men, and vice men for vice women. Well, I think this is probably a loose translation. I think she's referring to the verse where Allah says the chaste women are for chaste men, and chaste men are for chaste women, whereas unchaste women are for unchaste men. The woman who fornicates is for a man who does likewise. And similar, men who fornicate are for women who fornicate. I've come across many women who are pious and their husbands are just the opposite. Their husbands are fornicators and alcoholics and all such habits. You could just explain your opinion about the above incidents and the verse. Well,